You used to be known throughout the sect as the ultimate good-for-nothing. For a whole 3 years, your cultivation remained stuck at the most basic stage. The monthly resources from the sect were casually withheld by the stewards. Even your childhood friend looked at you with pity and handed you charity. But what they didn't know was, you are not some useless spiritual root. Instead, you possess the one and only dream spirit root through the ages. At this moment, deep in your mind, a burst of dazzling starlight suddenly erupts. An ethereal, ancient, immense, emotionless voice resounds like a great bell, exploding in your spiritual world. Spirit fluctuations of the host detected at their limit. The time has come. The ancient seal is lifted. Child of dreams, welcome to the myriad dream realm, a chill that pierces straight to your soul. You suddenly open your eyes to find yourself floating in a vast, endless, radiant galaxy. Where is this? The underworld? Am I dead? You look at your own translucent hands, suspicion and shock welling up inside you. That immense voice rumbles once again. This is the half-born space of the myriad dream spirit root half-life space. You shout bitterly, "Are you kidding me? I'm just a useless spiritual root that can't even retain the slightest spirit power. A good-for-nothing who only knows how to sleep. How ignorant." In that ancient voice, there is for the first time ever a trace of arrogance. Your spirit root is not a useless shell, but stands above all heavens and realms. The only dream spirit root in eternity. The dream spirit root shatters both mind and soul. All the spiritual energy you absorbed these 3 years was used to open this place. Now that the dream realm is formed, your true talent will fully awaken. As the child of dreams, in this dream realm, you will possess 2 heaven-defying abilities. First, cultivation in dreams synchronizes 100% with reality. Every bit of spirit energy you gain in dreams, every breakthrough you achieve, will be perfectly reflected in your real body. Second, the law of time 10 days in the dream equals 1 night outside, 1 night in reality, 10 days in the dream boom. These 2 sentences strike like thunder from the heavens, echoing madly in your mind. Cultivation in dreams synchronizes with reality. 1 night outside, 10 days inside the dream. Your whole body is trembling violently with excitement. This means you will have 10 times more cultivation time than others. I can't believe this. Is this just a dying hallucination? 3 years of despair left you unable to tell if it's real or not. Just try circulating your technique and you will know. The ancient voice gradually fades away. You take a deep breath, forcing yourself to calm down. You quickly sit cross-legged in midair and begin to try out that most basic technique. In the instant you focus your mind, boom, the entire dream realm seems summoned, and the power of the stars around you instantly surges forth like a broken dam, a furious tsunami, madly converging into your body. So fast, way too fast. The incredibly pure star spirit energy crashes into your meridians with overwhelming force. Your meridians, dried out for 3 years, are like parched earth receiving sweet rain, greedily devouring this immense energy. You can't help but let out a long, exhilarating howl. The bottleneck that's plagued you for 3 years at the key refining stage, that invisible barrier, finally begins to tremble violently under this flood. Break! 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 You fall completely into a frenzy, immersed fully in this transformation. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days in the dream realm. A full 10 days and nights pass. During these 10 days, the amount of spiritual energy you absorbed is comparable to a regular cultivator's year of hard work in the real world. Finally, when you channel the last surge of immense spirit power into your danshin and charge at that cracked bottleneck, one final time, crack, a crisp, delightful shattering sound, explodes in your spiritual world. That indestructible iron gate is broken. Boom, a wave of unparalleled power bursts out from the depths of your danshin, instantly flooding your entire body. Key refining, first level after 3 years. You, Linda, have finally broken the shackles of mortality and truly stepped into the path of cultivation. You suddenly open your eyes wide, two golden beams shooting out. You clench your fist tightly, feeling inside you that overflowing, almost uncontrollable power. Unable to stop yourself from laughing wildly at the sky. Wang Hao, didn't you say I was trash? Su Qingsu, didn't you just pity me? Open your eyes and see for yourselves. I Lin the aim, absolutely not a useless spiritual root. Just as you're overwhelmed with joy, the entire dream realm suddenly shakes violently. An irresistible pulling force comes from behind. Time's up? Your vision goes black. When you snap your eyes open again, blinding sunlight pours through the leaky roof, shining on your face. It's morning. You quickly check your danshin. Everything that happened in last night's dream, was it truly a miracle? Or just a hallucination before waking? Gasp, you suddenly sit up from your broken bed, panting heavily. You instinctively clench your fist. And then your pupils suddenly contract. Strength, a kind of explosive power you've never felt before, is surging through every inch of your bones. You look down at your body, now covered in a thick layer of sticky black grime, giving off a pungent stench. Body purification and bone cleansing. That's the sign of reaching the first stage of ki refining. Your heart is pounding with excitement, almost leaping out of your chest. You immediately close your eyes and send your consciousness deep into your danshin. In the next instant, you clearly see, at the very center of what was once an empty danshin, a wisp of spiritual energy glowing with faint starlight, slowly swirling your blood essence. It's real, it's all real. I've truly broken through to the first stage of ki refining. Wild joy, 3 years of burden on your heart, is completely shattered in this moment. You leap down from the bed, walk up to a wall made of ironwood, take a deep breath, and punch out with your right fist like a cannonball. Bang! A dull thud. The wooden cabin shakes violently. When you open your fist, on the hard ironwood wall, there is now a half-inch deep, clear fist mark. So strong, this is the power of the first level of ki refining. Staring at your fist, your eyes flash with an unprecedented confidence. And just at that moment, a deafening crash erupts. Your already crumbling door is kicked violently from outside, splintering into pieces. Ooh, damn. What the hell is that smell? Did this loser crap his pants in here? God, it stinks. With arrogant cursing, 3 figures swagger inside. Leading them is none other than Wang Hao. He pinches his nose, waving the air with a disgusted look on his face. When he sees your filthy appearance, a vicious gleam flashes in his eyes. Oh, so the loser isn't dead yet. Wang Hao narrowed his eyes and sneered coldly. Weren't you all cocky yesterday? Looks like you didn't get beaten up yesterday. Itching for trouble, you stood quietly in place. You didn't say a word. If it had been yesterday, facing Wang Hao at ki refining level 3, you might have felt hopeless. But now, looking at his arrogant face, your heart was surprisingly calm. You even felt a hint of amusement. Boss, why bother talking with this loser? A henchman jumped out. He pointed at your nose and shouted, Kid, yesterday you made Brother Hao get scolded by Sister Sue. Today, Brother Hao came in person to settle things with you. You should feel honored. Another one grinned wickedly. If you know what's good for you, kneel down immediately. Give Brother Hao 3 loud kowtows. Then crawl under Brother Hao's crotch. Maybe he'll just break 2 of your legs. And let you keep your miserable life. Hearing these obnoxious shouts, you slowly raised your head. Your eyes were as cold as ancient ice. Are you done talking? Your voice wasn't loud, but carried a chilling threat that made people shudder. Wang Hao felt unnerved being stared at by your gaze. He immediately flew into a rage. A dignified ki refining level 3 steward like him was being repeatedly challenged by a worthless nobody. Ungrateful mutt! I'm going to cripple you today. Wang Hao roared. His ki refining level 3 strength exploded. He completely underestimated you. His right fist gathered spiritual energy whistling toward you. He violently aimed for your face. Yet facing this heavy punch, you didn't even dodge. just as Wang Hao's fist was only less than 3 inches from your nose. A burst of golden light flashed in your eyes. Too slow. In the nightmare. After 10 days and nights of crazy training, Wang Hao's seemingly fierce punch looked like it was moving in slow motion to you. With every move replayed, full of flaws. Whoosh, you moved. You didn't back away. Instead, you raised your right hand too, turning your fist into a palm. You struck out at a tricky angle, lightning fast, grabbing Wang Hao's swinging wrist. Boom, fist and palm collided. A dull thud echoed. A wave of energy exploded between you two. The expected scene of you getting knocked out didn't happen. Your feet stayed firmly rooted, not moving an inch. How is that possible? Wang Hao screamed in disbelief. His fist felt like it hit a divine iron. Then a wild, violent counterforce followed your palm, like a raging dragon surged into his arm. Crunch. Wang Hao's right arm made a teeth-grinding, bone-grating sound. Get lost, your glare sharpened. Your palm twisted his wrist forcefully. Using force, you pushed forward.
Thud, thud, thud.
Wang Hao stumbled back as if hit by a wild bull, retreating 3 big steps in embarrassment. Only then did he barely catch his balance. But as Wang Hao steadied himself, he yelled, both shocked and furious, "You worthless trash! How could you stop my punch? You must have used some strange sorcery." Again, his spiritual energy surged, clearly ready to go all out. "Sorcery? You call this sorcery?" You slowly released your grip from Wang Hao's wrist. Your tone was entirely calm, without a hint of emotion, as if stating an insignificant fact. If you think absolute power also counts as some kind of sorcery, your dark eyes reflected Wang Hao's twisted face, warped by extreme anger and terror. It wasn't mockery, it wasn't ridicule, but the indifference you'd show an ant. That kind of look stung Wang Hao's pride more than any insult ever could. "Ah, you little brat! You're asking for death." Wang Hao was completely insane now. He couldn't accept that he was pushed back by a so-called loser in front of his lackeys. "Die," he roared. His spiritual energy surged with nothing held back.
He rushed in like a crazed bull,
Once again charging at you. This time, his hands became claws. Spiritual energy gathered into faint blue light at his fingertips, aiming straight for your throat. Qingmu claws said to tear through even ironwood. But facing this killer move, determined to win, you still showed no change in expression. Too slow, too many weaknesses. Just as the blue-tinted claw wind was about to reach your skin, you moved. No retreat, no blocking, just a simple, elegant sidestep. Whoosh. Wang Hao struck with full force, barely missing your clothes. All his strength wasted into the air, his old momentum spent, and new force yet to build. Now's the time. Your eyes sharpened like blades. You twisted your waist, lowered your shoulder, punched out. No fancy moves, just a straightforward, ordinary jab. Fast, accurate, ruthless. Your punch struck after his but landed first, right on Wang Hao's exposed belly, above his danshin. A heavy thud like a drumbeat sounded, exploding in the old wooden hut. Wang Hao's wicked grin froze instantly. His eyeballs bulged outward, covered with fearful red veins.
his whole body
Looked as if a charging armored rhino had smashed him head-on. His body curled up like a cooked shrimp. Feft, a mouthful of acidic fluid mixed with stomach contents, uncontrollably sprayed from his mouth. He immediately flew backward. Boom! Wang Hao slammed into the ironwood wall behind him, sliding down like a pile of mud. Curled up, dry heaving painfully, unable even to scream. Just one punch, only one punch. The key refining level 3 outer steward. Wang Hao was defeated. The faces of his 2 lackeys, once full of joy, went completely stiff. Their mouths dropped wide enough to fit an egg. Their eyes filled with a worldview-shattering terror. Get him! Cripple him! One of them screamed, bravely charging at you. You didn't even glance at him. Casually raised your leg and kicked.
crunch.
The clear sound of bone breaking was met with a pig-like scream. That henchman flew backward like a broken sandbag. clutching his twisted, oddly angled shin, rolling on the ground in pain. The other lackey was scared out of his wits. He shrieked and tried to run for the door. With a backhand grab, you picked him up like a chick, then effortlessly kicked him in the butt. Thud, that guy did a faceplant, landing hard next to Wang Hao. In less than 10 breaths, the 3 fierce bullies, 1 severely injured, 2 wailing in agony. And you stood in place the whole time. Not even your breathing faltered. You slowly walked toward Wang Hao, who was curled up on the floor like a dead dog. You squatted down. Who are you really? You're not that useless, Lin. No way you're this strong. Wang Hao's voice trembled. All his previous arrogance was completely gone. You didn't answer his stupid question. You reached out your hand. Under his terrified gaze, you reached straight into his chest. You pulled out what was supposed to belong to you. That snack and a bottle of key-gathering powder. You didn't stop. You kept searching. Soon you found another portion. This is your share for the month. You weighed the resources in your hand. You asked calmly. Wang Hao clutched his stomach. He nodded in fear. Good, right in front of him. You stuffed both shares into your own pocket. From yesterday to now, the interest made it just right. You stood up, looking down at the 3 lying on the ground. Your voice wasn't loud, but it spread through the entire wooden cabin clearly. Now these are mine. After doing all this, you couldn't even be bothered to look at them again. You turned to leave. But just as you turned, a voice came from the door, stunned and intimate. Linda, you stopped in your tracks. You slowly raised your head. You saw, outside the shattered door frame, somehow 2 people were standing there. One was in the white inner disciple robe, holding her red lips with her jade hand at the moment. Her beautiful eyes were filled with shock and disbeliefs, Su Qingsu. And beside her stood a man in an elder's outer sect robe, with white hair and beard, eyes sharp as an eagle and old man. They had clearly arrived a while ago and witnessed your confiscation of spoils. Su Qingsu's mind was totally blank. The Linda she protected yesterday, today, had knocked down Wang Hao, who's at key refining stage 3 with a single punch. How is that even possible? Meanwhile, that outer sect elder locked his eyes tightly on you. Deep in his murky eyes, golden lights flickered with shock and suspicion, as if he wanted to see right through you. Facing this sudden situation, you just furrowed your brow slightly. You gave no explanation, no boasting, not even a greeting. With their complicated gazes on you, you walked forward, passing directly by the 2 of them, without the slightest pause. As you passed Su Qingsu, she subconsciously wanted to speak, but found her throat dry as dust. Not a single word could come out. She could only watch as the once familiar, and now utterly alien upright back, walked toward the outer sect plaza without looking back. In the sunlight, your shadow was stretched long. The boy once always hiding his head, with eyes filled with suppression, was gone. Gone, replaced by someone tall and straight, exuding coldness and sharpness, a stranger. Do you understand? In this world, dignity is earned with your fists. The night was pitch black. You sat cross-legged on your bed, playing back everything from the day over and over in your mind. It's not enough. You slowly spoke 3 words. Your eyes were ice cold. Winning today was because you caught them off guard. Once everyone knows you're not a useless nobody anymore, there will be more and more tests, even attempts on your life. That outer sect elder's gaze was like a hawk's, almost piercing through your bones. You have to get faster and stronger. You calmed your mind. Your consciousness was instantly pulled into that dazzling starry river. Besides cultivation, could there be any other uses here? A bold, crazy idea exploded in your mind. Could you create an opponent here? You closed your eyes, focused all your attention, imagined Wang Hao's arrogant face, imagined his key refining stage 3 cultivation, imagined every detail of his greenwood palm technique. Condense with my will. You snapped your eyes open. let out a low shout buzz. The starlight in front of you gathered wildly, twisting and taking shape. A figure made of pure starlight, completely identical to Wang Hao, slowly condensed. That figure's eyes were hollow, but their aura was just like Wang Hao in the day. Key refining stage 3. Spiritual pressure dream realm. As soon as the puppet formed, it roared and threw a textbook greenwood palm, grabbing fiercely toward your throat. It really works. You were ecstatic inside. But your hands moved just as fast, sidestepping and sliding, barely dodging the palm wind. At the same time, you threw a punch at Wang Hao's ribs. With a bang, the fight exploded instantly. Under the boundless starry sky, an endless fierce battle began. 1 day, 2 days first battle. It took half an hour for you to catch the flaw too slow. With a thought, the defeated Wang Hao instantly reformed. 100th battle. You could already predict Wang Hao's every move. This idiot, before every burst, his left shoulder dips unconsciously. Huge flaw. 1000th battle, eyes closed. You just used hearing for positioning, and could easily and effortlessly, in Wang Hao's storm-like attacks, move at ease using the most basic sect fist technique. In your hands, it has already been practiced to an ultimate, terrifying level. Wang Hao, the opponent that once humiliated you endlessly, now, in your eyes, has become a well-worn textbook. And in this intense combat, the starlight cyclone in your danshan has unconsciously grown several times stronger. Who knows how many thousands of times you've crushed Wang Hao when you casually threw another punch, smashing the newly formed Wang Hao into scattered starlight. The spiritual energy inside you erupted wildly. The stable cyclone suddenly accelerated, sucking in the overwhelming power of the stars around you. The bottleneck of Key Refining Stage 1 barely posed any resistance and was easily broken by the flood boom. A force several times stronger than before burst out from deep within your danshan, flowing through your whole body. Key Refining Stage 2 achieved. You suddenly opened your eyes. 2 beams of golden light shot out. You formed another Wang Hao. This time, you didn't use any techniques. You simply stepped forward, threw a punch bang. The air cracked loudly. The dream Wang Hao at stage 3 didn't even have time to react. His body exploded in midair with a thunderous blast, turning into the most primal starlight. Now, for me to kill him, it only takes one move. You calmly state a simple fact. At the moment you broke through to the second level of key refining, a sudden change occurred. The vast dream realm of myriad phenomena shook violently without any warning. Your expression turned serious. You suddenly looked up into the distance. You saw that layer of mist shrouding the entire border of the dream realm. The eternal, unchanging chaotic fog seemed to grow the slightest bit thinner, deeper within that mist, as if something even older and more colossal was slowly awakening. The first ray of morning sunlight pierced the thin mist. A deafening bell echoed across the outer sect mountains. A huge crowd instantly gathered in front of the bulletin board. As you passed by, curiosity made you squeeze in as well. A bright red announcement for 3 days later was boldly posted. First place in the outer sect tournament will be awarded a fragment of Foundation Establishment Pill. Foundation Establishment Pill fragment. Oh my god, that's a priceless treasure! Has the sect gone insane? Countless outer sect disciples had bloodshot eyes and were breathing rapidly. This reward is enough to ignite everyone's ambition. Yet just at this moment, an even more explosive piece of news spread like wildfire, quickly sweeping through the entire outer sect. Have you heard? Wang Hao's older brother, Wang Meng, made a statement in the outer sect. That ruthless Wang Meng ranked top 20 at the 5th level of key refining. Yeah, that's him. He said he's going to cripple Linda with his own hands at the tournament to get revenge for his little brother. The excitement instantly shifted, and all eyes turned to you. Level 2 key refining versus level 5 key refining. A gap of 3 small realms. How could you possibly win? What a pity, Linda was just starting to get noticed, and now he's about to get stomped out. As far as they're concerned, a level 2 key refiner against a level 5 key refiner. isn't a challenge, it's suicide. Linda, listen to me. This time for the inner disciple contest. A familiar voice suddenly called out. You turned your head and saw Su Qingsu, looking anxious. She was wearing the white robe of an inner sect disciple. Her pretty face was grave. Worry filled her beautiful eyes. Linda, you can't compete in the inner competition now. Wang Mang is someone who never lets go of a grudge. He's at key refining stage 5. Su Qingsu urged anxiously. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to you. You glanced at the concern in Su Qingsu's eyes. Then you looked at the crowd in the distance. A chilling aura like a venomous snake was approaching. You smiled. But your smile was a bit cold. You didn't explain anything. You simply said calmly, my own matters. I'll solve them myself. After saying that, you walked past Su Qingsu and headed straight toward your wooden cabin. Su Qingsu stood frozen in place, staring at your straight back. Amazed deep inside, you showed not the slightest fear. Instead, a flame of defiance began to burn in your eyes. Wang Mang's threats didn't scare you at all. They only sparked your fighting spirit even more. Key refining, stage 5. That's exactly the opponent you need in your dream training. That night, your mind sank into the Star Dream realm. You'd never seen Wang Mang fight. You could only set his cultivation in the puppet at key refining stage 5 based on rumors. Set Wang Mang's puppet at key refining stage 5 and simulated his specialty moves, fierce wind palm and shadow step. Starlight gathered. A burly figure with a sinister face slowly began to form. He radiated the powerful spiritual pressure of key refining stage 5. As soon as the dream Wang Mang's figure formed, he charged at you with overwhelming force. The result was obvious. You, at key refining stage 2, stood no chance at all against Wang Mang at stage 5. Every single exchange, you were instantly defeated. Your body exploded into countless specks of starlight. The roaring wind palm could tear through your protective spirit aura. One fierce wind palm was enough to shred your defenses. His shadow step made him almost ghost-like. Every time he could easily get behind you and shatter you with a single palm. Once, twice, dozens, hundreds of times. You were totally overwhelmed. Your body reformed and got blasted apart again, over and over. It was like a never-ending nightmare. But you never got discouraged. With each replay of your death, you desperately sought any chance to turn things around. You forced your body movement and reaction to the limits. Even at the moment of defeat, you were analyzing the flaws in his techniques. His fierce wind palm, though strong, lacked focus in its power. His shadow step looked impressive. But every time he shifted his weight, his right leg paused ever so slightly. You etched every single one of Wang Mang's attacks, and every movement deep into your mind, then broke down and simulated them over and over, searching for ways to counter them. One night in reality, but countless days in the dream, you were like a tireless machine, sparring thousands of times with Wang Mang at key refining stage 5. Your cultivation didn't break through, but your combat experience, your control of spiritual energy, your understanding of weapons, even your insight into the power system at key refining stage 5, all skyrocketed in this hellish training, reaching a shocking new height. Now you know, you can win. 3 days later, the outer sect competition officially began. The martial arena was packed. You stood among the crowd. Your gaze was calm. You felt an aggressive gaze locking onto you, like a poisonous snake from the high stage. It was Wang Mang, burly in stature, with a sinister look in his eyes and a cruel smirk on his lips. First round, Linda versus Zhang Li. With the referee's booming voice echoing through the arena, thousands of gazes instantly focused on you as you walked to the stage. Zhang Li is key refining stage 4. His stone-shattering fist is incredibly powerful. Key refining stage 4 against key refining stage 2? Is there even a need to fight? This is going to be fun. Brother Wang Mang is watching from the high platform. Amidst all the chatter, a burly youth with a sinister grin leaped onto the stage. He was your opponent, Zhang Li. He rolled his neck, his joints cracking as he sneered at you. Kid, I heard you'd be impressive, but you better just kneel and admit defeat, or I might accidentally cripple you. Just admit defeat now. Otherwise, I might not hold back and leave you disabled. Your expression stayed calm. You only loosened your wrists? On the high platform, Wang Mang crossed his arms and said indifferently, "Tell Zhang Li, no mercy, cripple his leg for me." As the referee's arm swung down, before he had even finished his announcement, Zhang Li let out a shout. He charged like a ferocious tiger downhill, using his most powerful stone-shattering fist from the start. With the spirit power of Qi refining stage 4, his fists became a blur of dense shadows, instantly enveloping your entire body. To everyone else, you look like a boat in a violent storm, about to be torn apart at any moment. Yet, the brutal, bloody scene people expected did not appear. Your figure danced among the flurry of fists. Every single time, at the most dangerous instant, you dodged with the tiniest of movements. A sidestep, a low duck, a step back. It looked as if you were scared stiff, putting up no resistance at all, only trying desperately to dodge. Every moment, you escaped by a hair's breadth. What's the deal? I thought he was supposed to be tough. Turns out all he can do is dodge. This isn't luck. Pressed by senior brother Zhang's aura, he doesn't even have a chance to strike back. The crowd's muttering was full of scorn and ridicule. On the high platform, Wang Mang's cold smile widened. Trash will always be trash. Su Qingsu clenched her robe tightly, palms drenched in sweat. Only the white-haired elder had a flicker of surprise in his murky eyes. He noticed your breathing, and your steps had never faltered. Standing in the center of those fists, your mind was perfectly calm. You were never truly flustered. After sparring thousands of times with Wang Mang, at Qi refining stage 5, even Zhang Li's stone-shattering fist at stage 4, looked to you like a child waving their fists. It seemed so slow it was laughable, and so clumsy it was almost pitiful. Too slow, too many openings. You weren't just dodging, you were waiting. Waiting for a chance to end it in one strike. Go down. Frustrated by his failure to break through, Zhang Li roared furiously, forcing out all the spiritual energy he had left in his body, and unleashed his strongest combo. After the flurry of blows, his chest was heaving, and his breathing finally showed a hint of disorder. His strength spent, with no new force to continue. Now's the time. The you that had only been dodging suddenly sharpened your gaze like a blade. In front of everyone's stunned eyes, your body halted abruptly. Instead of retreating, you advanced. You stepped forward, twisting your waist and dropping your shoulder.
Punch.
It's still that simple, straightforward punch. Fast, accurate, and ruthless. This punch, though thrown later, landed first. Ignoring Zhang Li's unretracted guard stance, it landed precisely on his chest, which was rising and falling slightly due to forced breathing. Right on target. The biggest weakness you had observed countless times.
Bang.
A dull, bone-crushing thunderclap echoed loudly. It was distinctly heard by everyone present. The sinister grin on Zhang Li's face froze instantly. An irresistible, absolute force of terror erupted through the fist's wind. Crack his protective aura, shattered like thin ice struck by a mighty hammer. In an instant, spiderweb cracks covered its surface. Then it collapsed completely. With a spurt, Zhang Li's entire body convulsed as if struck by lightning. His body arched violently backward. A jet of blood mixed with organ fragments gushed wildly from his mouth. Immediately after, his massive body flew out like a kite with a broken string and crashed hard off the stage. He landed with a heavy thud below the arena, twitched twice, and then passed out completely. The entire place fell deathly silent. Just a moment ago, the dueling arena was roaring with noise. Now it felt as if someone had hit a pause button. On stage, you slowly withdrew your fist. Your expression was calm, as if you had just done something trivial. One strike. Just one strike. Key refiner level 2. defeated someone 2 levels above in an instant. Key Refiner Level 4. The deathly silence lasted for 3 full breaths. Then, in the next moment, a roar of shock like a tidal wave, and an uproar erupted as if a volcano exploded. Instantly, the entire dueling arena was ignited. Did I see that right? Senior Brother Zhang was taken out with a single punch. How is that possible? Wasn't he dodging the whole time? On the high platform, the previously composed outer sect elders, suddenly, all stood up in unison. Every one of them stared wide-eyed, shock and disbelief written all over their faces. Su Qingsu quickly covered her red lips with her jade-like hand, barely holding back an exclamation. In her clear, beautiful eyes, besides sheer astonishment, an unprecedented brilliance shone through. As for the cruel smirk on Wang Mang's face, it had long vanished without a trace. His face turned ashen in an instant, then shifted from ashen to pitch black. Looking so grim it seemed water might drip from it. The uproar beneath the arena felt as if an invisible hand had seized it. 1,000 disciples in the venue froze as if stuck a second before. Only the white-haired outer sect elder on the high platform had eyes as sharp as a hawk's, and they shone with unprecedented brightness. With a flicker, he floated straight down from the high platform, landing steadily in front of you. What's your name? The elder's voice carried a hint of barely concealed excitement. Disciple Lin the. You bowed slightly, neither servile nor overbearing. What an outstanding Lin the. The elder clapped and laughed heartily. That wasn't luck. That was ultimate insight into the battle. It was perfect timing. You predicted all of his moves. At these words, the whole crowd erupted again. A Key Refiner Level 2 predicted all the attacks of a Level 4 Key Refiner. Are we hearing a tale from legend or what? But the elder didn't explain any further.
He simply took out a jade green token from his chest
And handed it to you. The preliminaries are over. Come by my residence. My surname is Qin. After speaking, Elder Qin gave you a deep look, then turned and walked back to the high platform. In that instant, the gazes of all the disciples changed. If they were shocked before, now it was open awe and envy. To be publicly favored by the elder. For an outer disciple, that's like reaching the top in one step. In the crowd, Wang Mang's face turned as black as the bottom of a pot. He glared at you, fists clenched tightly. His knuckles cracked like firecrackers. Elder Qin's appearance had ruined all his plans. Next round, you better hope you don't face me. Wang Mang didn't speak loudly, but his icy voice reached your ears clearly. You couldn't even bother to look back. That silent contempt enraged Wang Mang even more than any comeback could. The first round of preliminaries ended. You advanced effortlessly. Without lingering, you headed straight for Elder Qin's residence. It was a secluded courtyard halfway up the mountain. The spiritual energy there was several times richer than regular outer disciple quarters. Come in. You pushed open the door and stepped inside. You saw Elder Qin sitting at a stone table, personally making tea. Sit. With one word, you sat down. Your expression was calm. You're not afraid of me? Elder Qin watched you with interest. Not afraid of me? He asked where your strange combat instinct came from. I don't know, you answered flawlessly. It's just that when facing a strong opponent, your mind gets exceptionally clear. This was your prepared answer. Elder Qin smiled. He didn't press further. He simply pushed a cup of hot tea toward you. Every genius has their secrets. The sect cares about results, not the process. He took out a small jade bottle from his storage pouch and placed it on the table. These are 3 premium key-gathering pills. Compared to the standard ones distributed monthly by the sect, the medicinal power is at least 10 times purer. Consider this a personal reward from me. Thank you, Elder Qin. You didn't refuse, and accepted them openly. Resources are what you need most now. Your goal shouldn't just be staying a mere outer disciple. Elder Qin's gaze was deep. Give me another surprise at the preliminaries in 3 days. You left the elder's courtyard. The sun was warm and bright, but you felt a wave of chilling, killing intent. Wang Mang was blocking the path down the mountain. His gaze sinister, like a lone wolf eyeing its prey. Kid, don't think Elder Qin can protect you, and that you'll be worry-free. Wang Mang spoke through gritted teeth. On the stage, fists and kicks show no mercy. If I accidentally beat you to death, the elders will only regret another dead genius. You didn't break stride, brushing past him. I'm waiting. Your calm words reached Wang Mang's ears. Wang Mang spun around sharply, seeing it was you, and your figure never pausing or looking back. His entire body trembled with rage. He punched the stone wall nearby with all his might. Boom! Stone chips flew everywhere. A crisp female voice rang out. Su Qingsu hurried to catch up with you. Her pretty face held a trace of apology and complexity. I'm sorry. She stood before you, biting her lip and quietly said, I underestimated you before. I shouldn't have told you to give up. She thought she was protecting you, only to realize now that maybe it was just arrogance from above. The boy who once needed her protection had long since grown to a height she could only look up to. It's fine. Your reply was still calm. Looking at your indifferent gaze, Su Qingsu felt an unexplainable emptiness inside. But she still mustered her courage and said, Wang Mang can be ruthless. You really need to be careful. You nodded. That was a memory. You parted ways with Su Qingsu. You returned to your shabby wooden hut. Closed the door, blocking out all distractions outside. You sat cross-legged. Poured those premium key-gathering pills into your palm. Without any hesitation, you cleared your mind and spirit. The next moment, your consciousness entered the myriad illusions again. Dream Void attacks key refining level 3. You didn't hesitate at all. You swallowed one premium key-gathering pill right away. A surge of medicinal power, 10 times stronger than normal, poured into your body like a dam bursting. It exploded inside you. On the outside, a cultivator would need to carefully refine this pill. A single mistake could lead to their body exploding. But here, you are the god. With a single thought, the endless starlight within the dream void transformed into a gentle web, instantly enveloping the raging medicinal energy. Then, with 100 times the efficiency, constantly channeled it into the vortex in your danshan. The bottleneck at the peak of your second key refining layer shook violently under this terrifying energy flow and began to tremble fiercely. After refining 2 whole premium key-gathering pills, taking nearly 7 days in the dream void, that stubborn bottleneck finally loosened a little. Just a bit more. You didn't rush it. You paused cultivating. Thoughts moving. You floated toward the edge of the dream void. As your cultivation improved, you felt that the boundary of this dream void, the layer of chaotic mist, seemed just a little thinner. You stepped toward that chaos. The surrounding starlight dimmed. A cold, soul-deep loneliness started to invade your consciousness. Just as you were about to run out of mental strength, ready to retreat, suddenly a faint, fragmented thought came out of nowhere from even deeper in the chaos, entering your mind. It was a call for help. Help! That voice was like an icy needle, suddenly piercing the deepest part of your mind. You didn't hear it with your ears, but felt it directly on the soul level. It carried endless ancient fatigue and weakness. You stopped abruptly. Your mind shrank back inside you like startled birds, instantly withdrawing. Someone else is here. That thought flashed like a bolt of black lightning, shattering everything you knew about the myriad illusions dream void. You immediately focused your mind and shaped your thoughts into a sharp blade, probing in the direction the voice came from. Who are you? Your thoughts cut through layers of starlight, piercing into the dead silent chaos. But the mist swallowed them without a trace, and you got no answer. That faint plea for help vanished, as if it had been a hallucination. A hallucination that wouldn't end? Impossible! It seems that the myriad illusions dream void is deeper than I thought. You let out a long breath, forcefully suppressing your turbulent thoughts. Only by being strong enough Can you unlock these layers of mist? Collecting yourself, you immediately return to the center of the dream void. The third and final premium key gathering pill was sent into your mouth, and the energy melted away. That surge of newly formed potent medicinal power merged with the raging flow of spiritual energy already inside my body, forming an unstoppable, overwhelming tidal wave that slammed violently against the invisible barrier. A faint cracking sound echoed, followed by continual snapping noises. Boom, the bottleneck of the second stage of key refining was completely shattered. The starlit vortex in my danshan suddenly expanded nearly twice its previous size, spinning even faster. Its color started shifting toward a shade infused with a hint of noble purple. A force far stronger and purer than the second stage of key refining rushed forth like a river breaking through a dam, instantly flooding every bone and limb in my body. Third stage of key refining. In a single night, I broke through 2 stages. I slowly opened my eyes. A flash of purple light flickered in the depths of my gaze. I'm several times stronger than I was yesterday.
Now.
My consciousness returns from the dream void. The horizon in the real world is already tinged with dawn. You open the door and step out, only to discover that today's outer sect is even more lively than the day of the previous contest. Almost every outer sect disciple was acting as if possessed, rushing wildly toward the central martial arena. You see, atop the elevated stage at the center of the arena, an inner sect steward holds a golden scroll and channels spiritual energy into it, creating a resonant sound, as he announces an earth-shaking news to everyone. By decree of the sect, and after the Elder Council's deliberation, the top 10 will all receive generous rewards. The Outer Sect annual tournament will be held 1 month from now. For this tournament, spirit stones, medicinal pills, cultivation methods. At this point, everything you could want. He pauses deliberately, then slowly reveals the ultimate prize. That immediately makes everyone's breath catch. For the champion of this tournament, the sole reward will be direct advancement to becoming an inner sect disciple. Boom, those 4 words, inner sect disciple, causing a frenzy, exploded in the hearts of all outer sect disciples like 10,000 tons of TNT. Oh my god, direct promotion to inner sect. Did I hear that right? Rise to the top in 1 step. The inner sect, that's the actual inner sect. Leap from fish to dragon. I'm going all in this time. Even if I die on the arena, thousands of outer sect disciples are breathing heavily. I have to fight for it. Their eyes bloodshot. Amid the crowd, your gaze burns hotter than ever before, is as wide as immortals and mortals. The gap between inner and outer sect. Su Ching Su, Elder Chin, all this kindness you keep in your heart. But you know even better. Rely on a mountain and it may collapse. Rely on others and they may flee. Only strength you control yourself is eternal. Entering the inner sect is your only way, this number 1 spot, to escape your past and take control of your destiny. I am determined to claim it. Just then, a commotion breaks out in the crowd. Wang Meng emerges, surrounded by his entourage, slowly walking forward. He seems to sense your gaze, across dozens of meters and the mass of people. Instantly talk about promotions. Your eyes lock fiercely in midair. The disciples nearby, have you heard? For this tournament, senior brother Wang Meng is aiming for 1st place. No kidding. Senior brother Wang Meng reached the 7th stage of key refining half a year ago. Across the entire outer sect, who can rival him? Who can rival him? That forestry guy may be shady, but a 3rd layer key cultivator facing a 7th layer, it's like an egg hitting a stone. He's asking for death, the crowd murmured. On Wang Meng's face, a cold, extremely cruel and arrogant smile appeared. He didn't say a word. Just in front of everyone, slowly raised his right hand towards you. His thumb forcefully drew across his own throat. A silent gesture, overflowing with murderous intent and utter contempt. The tournament stage. Is your death date? The crowd gradually dispersed, but the madness ignited by the inner sect disciples spread like wildfire, burning fiercely throughout the outer sect. Meanwhile, Inside Wang Mang's private courtyard, bang. A green rock table was smashed to pieces by Wang Mang's palm. Shards of stone flew everywhere, scaring several flunkies at his side into utter silence. Mang bro, please calm down. That kid just got absurdly lucky. There's no way he can beat you. A crafty-looking henchman hurried forward, flattering with a sycophantic grin. Shut up. Wang Mang's gaze glinted dangerously toward him. The henchman's neck shrank back in terror immediately. In Wang Mang's mind, the scene where you Ko Zhang Li in a single punch replayed over and over. Fast, way too fast. That punch carried a penetrating force that even unnerved him. He asked himself, with key training at the 7th layer, he was 99% sure he could crush you. But what if? No, absolutely not allowed. He was determined to win first place this time, and wouldn't let anything slip. He wouldn't tolerate any mishaps. Beating you publicly would definitely satisfy his grudge, but more than just revenge, he needed certainty. If a so-called genius never gets a chance to compete, are they really a genius? A glint of ruthlessness flashed in Wang Mang's eyes. Where is Li San? Tell him to come see me. Soon, a skinny, shifty-eyed disciple was brought in. This guy was Li San, the helper in the cafeteria, who had fought with you before for skimming off food, and held a grudge ever since. Poor brother Wang Mang. Seeing Wang Mang, Li San's legs went weak out of fright. Wang Mang couldn't even be bothered to look at him, and directly threw out a pouch from his storage bag, along with a paper packet. Inside the pouch were several sparkling low-grade spirit stones. Li San's eyes widened instantly. Here are 10 low-grade spirit stones. Another 10 when it's done. Wang Mang's voice was utterly emotionless. In the packet is sleep scatter. It's colorless and tasteless. I want you to make Linda ingest it today. Sleep scatter. Li San shuddered in fear. He had heard about this stuff. After taking it, you'd fall into a deep sleep for 3 days and nights. With the tournament coming up, sleeping for 3 days is basically instant elimination. Worse than killing you, it makes you suffer. Brother Wang Mang, what if the elders find out? Li San's voice trembled. Useless! Wang Mang's gaze turned icy cold. A surge of 7th layer key pressure crashed down. Who do you think you're talking to? This sect belongs to the Wang family. Just do what you're told. If the sky falls, I'll take care of it. Or maybe you'd rather I break your arms and legs now, and throw you to the beasts out back. The cold killing intent made Li San feel like he'd plunged into an ice pit. On one hand, he might get caught. On the other, he'd die instantly. What choice did he have as a disciple? I'm willing to serve Brother Wang Mang. Li San dropped to his knees with a thud, grabbed the things and scrambled out quickly. Watching Li San's disappearing figure, a cruel smile curved Wang Mang's mouth. Linda, oh Linda, you're still far too inexperienced to go up against me. Time rewinds to last night. The illusory dream realm. Having just broken through to key layer 3, you quietly float among the stars. Your connection to this space has become tighter than ever before. If you were a visitor before, now you feel more like the master here. A bold idea rises in your mind. Since you can simulate battles, then, can you also preview future dangers? You close your eyes and sink your whole consciousness into the heart of the dream realm. Casting a vague thought, tomorrow, what crisis will I face? Buzz the illusory dream realm. As if a precise machine had started up, endless starlight rotated and reorganized at lightning speed. Countless blurry, shattered scenes flashed before your eyes. Fragments flickered rapidly, until all images suddenly aligned, and became crystal clear. It was a dark room. Wang Mang's grim face filled your whole view.
He threw out a money pouch from his storage bag.
And a packet of white powder. Kneeling in front of him was Li San, the cafeteria worker. Sleep scatter 3 days of coma. Wang Mang's icy cold voice echoed directly in your jade eye. The scene shifted. Li San carried a lunchbox, slinking up to your door. That lunchbox, his sneaky look, even the dishes inside it, were vividly clear, just like witnessing it in person. Boom, your consciousness snapped back from your jade eye, and you opened your eyes again. Deep in your calm pupils, only absolute icy clarity remained. So that's how it is. Since the direct approach doesn't work, they try something sneaky. A cold angle formed at your lips, since they've already written the script. I'll play along. But as for the ending of this play, it'll be decided by me. The scene returns to reality. In front of the wooden cabin, the chopsticks in your hand, paused just a fraction from your lips. That shiny piece of braised pork gave off a tempting aroma. Yet in your senses, it was like the deadliest poison in the world. Time seemed to slow down countless times in that instant. Behind a nearby tree, even Wang Mang's breathing stalled, watching your mouth intently. Li San's forehead veins bulged with tension. Eat it, come on, eat it. Just as their hope peaked, your face suddenly showed precisely the right amount of surprise. Ah, so it's Brother Li. You're way too generous. You say this, while it seems you want to stand straight, to properly return Brother Li's kindness. Then your wrist naturally gives a small twitch. Oh, an exclamation escapes. Clatter, the whole lunch box slipped from your hand, hitting the ground perfectly. All the food and soup spilled across the dirt in front of your door. A mess covered the ground. Li San's expression froze instantly. Wang Mang's pupils sharply contracted. A mistake? How did that happen? Wow, just look at this. I'm really sorry. I wasted Brother Li's kind intentions. With an apologetic look, you quickly bent down to clean up. Right at that moment, a stray dog, skin and bones from hunger and drawn by the aroma, appeared from the corner, suddenly darted out like lightning, right towards the braised pork and rice on the ground, started devouring them like crazy. Li San saw this scene. He inexplicably felt a sense of relief. Thank goodness, nothing bad happened. Just as this thought flashed through his mind, the wild dog that was eating ravenously suddenly froze in its tracks, let out a short whimper. Then its forelegs gave way. With a thud, it collapsed stiffly to the ground. It twitched twice and then stopped moving completely. Only its chest was barely rising and falling, proof that it had just passed out. The whole place fell silent. All the color drained from Li San's face, disappearing without a trace. His face turned even whiter than paper. He stared wide-eyed at the unconscious dog. His body started shaking like a leaf. Post-surgery, Wang Mang was struck like lightning. He froze in place. A bone-chilling cold shot up from the solace of his feet. His secret was exposed. The apology and remorse on your face vanished completely in that moment. You slowly straightened up, turned around with a gaze as cold as ice, and locked eyes on Li San, who was utterly terrified. Then a shout infused with key refinement. 3 layers of spiritual power erupted. It sounded like thunder suddenly exploding, echoing throughout the entire outer disciple residential area. The food is poisoned. Li San, you and I are strangers. Why resort to such a deadly trick? Trying to kill me. Your explosive shout was like a boulder thrown into a calm lake. Instantly stirred up waves, infused with key refinement. The voice, powered by 3 layers of spiritual energy, was extremely penetrating. Instantly spread hundreds of meters around. The next second, the doors and windows of the surrounding cabins creaked open. One by one, outer disciples poked their heads out. The food is poisoned! Who's yelling like a ghost so early in the morning? Let's go check it out. Crowds are in human nature. In the blink of an eye, in front of your shabby wooden cabin, disciples gathered layer upon layer, inside and out. A packed, dark mass. Everyone's gaze immediately focused on the 3 people in the scene. You glaring angrily, Li San, limp as mud, and the wild dog on the ground, completely unconscious. Li San's mind went totally blank. He watched you, eyes wide open. Your calm face suddenly turned cold as iron. That deafening shout echoed in his ears, like one death sentence after another. His legs felt weighted like lead. His throat felt blocked. All he could let out were wheezing noises. Li San, you and I are strangers. Why resort to such a deadly trick? You stepped forward. Both your voice and expression were stern. Every word felt like a heavy blow, striking him hard in the chest. You pointed at the food and the unconscious wild dog on the ground, and loudly addressed all the disciples gathered. Brothers, you're right on time. Li San from the dining hall pretended to apologize and brought me poisoned food. I accidentally knocked it over and the wild dog ate it, and this is what happened as a result. Everyone, look, this dog is still breathing. If I had eaten it, I'd be the one lying here now. As soon as Linda said this, the whole crowd erupted. So much money spent on knockout drugs. Qianxi resorted to such means. That's downright vicious. Who the hell is this Li San? How is he so bold? Does he have a grudge against Linda? I remember just a few days ago in the cafeteria, he even tried to shortchange Lin Yi's meal. The disciples' discussions were like countless steel needles, piercing Li San all over with pain. His face turned pale and then blue, sweat pouring down like a waterfall. He began to ramble incoherently. It wasn't me, I don't know. Don't know? You gave a cold laugh. Your gaze was as sharp as a blade. Then tell me, why did a dog drop dead after eating it on the spot? What, does the food pick who it poisons? Right at that moment, a stern voice called out from outside the crowd. What are you all doing gathered here? Disperse. Several disciples from the enforcement hall, clad in black, lined up. The crowd parted as they came in. The leader swept his eyes over the scene, frowning, and asked in a deep voice, "What's going on?" You immediately bow low in salute, greeting the senior brother from enforcement hall. Lin Yi suspects this man of deliberate poisoning, plotting to harm a fellow disciple. Senior brother, please investigate. The enforcement disciple squatted down, examined the stray dog's breath, and sniffed a bit of the soup. His face darkened instantly. Mission powder. Such nerve. He stood up, giving Li San a cold stare. Come with us. Two enforcement disciples stepped forward at once and hoisted the limp Li San like a little chick. But just then, an angry voice burst from the back of the crowd. Stop right there, Li San. How dare you? The crowd automatically parted. Wang Mang swaggered in, flanked by his followers, his face stern and righteous. He didn't even look at you, and walked straight up to Li San. Looking thoroughly disappointed, he slapped him across the face. Smack. The crisp slap silenced the entire room. You dared commit such a vile act. You've utterly disgraced us outer sect disciples. Wang Mang pointed at Li San's nose, scolding him with dramatic conviction, as if he were the embodiment of justice. Many clueless disciples even looked on with approval. You watched Wang Mang's performance, sneering inwardly. Not a bad act. Too bad you didn't write the script. You couldn't care less for his facade, and kept your eyes locked on the dazed and beaten Li San. Li San, your voice wasn't loud, but it was unusually clear. You and I have no old grudges, nor any recent feuds. I'm just a newbie at the third level of key refining. What could possibly make you use such underhanded methods against me? Who put you up to this?
Tell us.
And maybe you'll be given a chance to redeem yourself. If you keep silent, you'll have to shoulder the blame for harming a fellow disciple all alone. Your cultivation will be abolished, and you'll be expelled from the sect. Your whole life will be ruined. Every word of yours felt like a scalpel, precisely cutting through Li San's mental defenses. Expelled from the sect, those 4 words hit like a thunderbolt, striking him right between the eyes. He suddenly looked up at Wang Meng, just in time to catch that fleeting warning and murderous intent in his eyes. He instantly understood. Wang Mang was making him the scapegoat. Why? Why should I? You're high and mighty. Promise me 20 spirit stones, and get me to do such a wicked deed. But when it fails, I have to bear all the blame myself. A massive wave of frustration and resentment instantly overwhelmed his rational mind. Li San used every bit of strength he had, broke free from their grip, and with trembling fingers, pointed straight at the so-called righteous Wang Meng. It was senior brother Wang Meng. It was senior brother Wang Meng. He gave me 10 spirit stones, and gave me mission powder, and told me to put it in his food. He said after it was done, I'd get another 10. Boom! Li San's accusation was like a thunderclap, exploding in everyone's ears. The entire room went dead silent. Everyone's eyes seemed drawn by invisible strings. From the broken Li San to the suddenly petrified face of Wang Mang. You're making baseless accusations. 1 second later, Wang Mang finally reacted and let out an indignant howl. But this weak protest was laughable compared to the evidence. Silence, an even more authoritative voice rang out. Even the elder from the outer sect enforcement hall was personally alarmed. Inside the enforcement hall, the atmosphere was suffocating. The elder's face was as cold as water. Li San and a livid Wang Mang knelt before the hall, while you stood calmly to the side. Everything was crystal clear now. Li San had plotted to harm his fellow disciple, so his cultivation would be abolished, and he'd be expelled from the sect. Li San's eyes rolled back, and he fainted on the spot. He was dragged away. The elder's gaze settled on Wang Mang, and everyone held their breath. What is the proper punishment for the mastermind? Wang Mang, you are sentenced to a month of confinement. Your salary for the year will be docked, and you will copy the sect rules 100 times as discipline. The verdict was out, and everyone was stunned. That's it? This punishment is basically a slap on the wrist. A month of confinement won't keep him from competing in the tournament at all. A flash of relief passed through Wang Mang's eyes. He immediately kowtowed, thanking the elder for his leniency. Thank you for the lighter sentence, elder. As he was being taken away, Wang Mang suddenly stopped beside you, slowly turning his head. His handsome face twisted with resentment. His bloodshot eyes stared fixedly at you with a voice only you two could hear, spitting words like a venomous snake, and said, one word at a time, on the arena, I will kill you. Wang Mang's threat didn't stir you at all. You just calmly bowed to the elder, then turned and left. Ignoring him is the greatest contempt. The night passed in the blink of an eye. The outer sect tournament officially began. Over the past month, you not only broke through to the 4th level of key refining, but almost all your other time was spent immersed in Dream Mirage. Now it's time to test your results. Your matches always ended fastest. First round, Linda versus Zhao Hu. Zhao Hu, 4th level key refining, trained his body tough, lunged at you with a savage grin. You took just 1 step forward, sidestepped and threw a punch. Bang, Zhao Hu collapsed limply. 1 strike. Second round, Linda wins. Third round, Linda wins. No matter who your opponent is, 4th, 5th, even 6th level of key refining, no matter how exquisite their technique, or how powerful their martial skills, the result remains the same. You win every fight in a single blow. You are like the most masterful hunter, always able to finish things in the simplest way. Find the most vulnerable weak spot of the prey. This almost supernatural insight made everyone's scalp tingle with fear. Is this guy even human? His grasp of the timing in battle is downright terrifying. Damn, senior brother Li at key condensation level 6 was actually knocked out of the ring by him with 1 punch. But his cultivation is clearly only at key condensation level 4. If your way to advancement is called bizarre, then on the other side, Wang Mang's path to advancement is just 2 words, brutal force. Wang Mang, released from confinement, was completely changed. He took all his hatred and hostility and unleashed it all in the arena. Ah, my leg. Wang Mang, you'll die a horrible death. I concede. Then why did you cripple me too? Every single one of his opponents was viciously maimed by him in the most brutal way. Broken hands and legs, shattered danshin. His arena became synonymous with blood and screams. He used the most direct method to declare to everyone, especially to you, stand in my way and die. One is clean, efficient. The other is bloody and vicious. The two of you collided in the finals with unstoppable momentum. You met head-on in the arena in the championship match. The central fighting grounds were packed with people. Not only were the outer disciples there, even the inner elders showed up at the high platform spectator seats. Every gaze was fixed on you. Your green robe stood tall, your aura subdued. Wang Mang, key condensation level 4. Wang Mang in luxurious robes spiritual energy surging. At key condensation level 7. A whole 3 minor levels of difference at the peak. It's like an uncrossable chasm. 3 levels. How could anyone win this fight? The fact that Linda made it this far is already a miracle. Too bad the miracle ends here. Wang Nang will definitely go for the kill. Linda is doomed to a tragic fate. Almost no one believes in you. On the arena platform, Wang Mang licked his cracked lips, his bloodshot eyes locking viciously onto Linda. His voice was hoarse and menacing. All your luck ends here. Today, right in front of everyone, I'm going to shatter every single bone in your body inch by inch. The pressure from his key condensation level 7 peak burst forth, like a mountain crushing down on you. A fierce wind kicked up dust, making your clothes flutter loudly on your back. In the center of that crushing, overwhelming aura, your expression remained as calm as an ancient well. This past month, inside the Dreamland Mirage, I fought a perfect peak key condensation level 7 Wang Meng, exactly 13,728 times. Every single one of your breaths, every time you circulate your spiritual energy, even before you make a move, your left toes unconsciously shift by half a step. I know you better than you know yourself. You slowly raise your gaze and stare at the crazed Wang Mang across from you. That look in your eyes is as if you're looking at a dead man. Judge, can we begin? Your calm voice echoed clearly through the venue. The judge was momentarily stunned, then quickly raised his right hand high and swung it down sharply. The final match begins. Almost at the exact same moment, Wang Nang made his move. A month's worth of murderous intent exploded in an instant. He opened with his trump card move. Earth rank superior martial technique mountain crushing palm. Break! Wang Mang roared. All of his spiritual energy poured crazily into his right palm. A solid crimson palm print carried a terrifying force capable of shattering stone. Surged violently toward your chest. This palm strike was enough to instantly kill any cultivator below the 6th level of key refinement. Boom! The crimson palm print blazed like a falling meteor. In an instant, it filled your entire field of view. At the spot where the palm landed, the gust of wind scraped past your face like a steel blade. The bluestone beneath your feet, on the arena, actually began to crack, lines spreading out like a spiderweb. A peak 7th level key refinement cultivator unleashed their full power. On the high platform, Elder Chin's pupils suddenly contracted. Within the crowd, Su Kingsu's heart leapt into her throat. It's over. I'm dead. In everyone's mind, almost the same thought flashed by. But just as that world-shattering palm print was about to strike your chest, you moved. No retreat, no block. You merely stepped half a pace to the left. That half step allowed that wild, unstoppable crimson palm print to brush past your clothes, missing you by mere millimeters and blasting into the empty air behind you. Boom! A thunderous crash resounded. The edge of the arena was forcibly blown open, leaving a gaping hole. Fragments of stone shot everywhere. Yet everyone was too stunned by the destruction to react. All their eyes, wide and incredulous, were fixed on the center of the arena, where that figure in green still stood, not even a hem of their robe disturbed. Strolling as if in a garden, in front of an attack strong enough to instantly kill a 6th level cultivator, you seem to be taking a leisurely walk. Impossible! Wang Mang's eyeballs instantly filled with blood. He had locked onto all your openings for that strike, so how could it miss? I don't believe it. Rage completely overwhelmed his sanity. Fierce mountain palm, again. Boom, 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 boom. Wang Mang was completely losing his mind. One after another, crimson palm prints were unleashed like he didn't care about their cost. Palm shadows filled the sky. Dodge! Let's see how long you can keep dodging. He appeared utterly crazed, roaring hoarsely with all his might. Yet at the center of that storm, your figure moved erratically and unpredictably. Step to the left. Drop your right shoulder slightly. A palm print swept past your back. Step forward. Toe touched the ground. 3 palm strikes exploded where you had just been standing. A bizarre sidestep, and a deadly palm wind only rustled your hair. You were like a lone boat floating in raging waves, always seeming about to be overwhelmed, but always able to find, impossibly, that single gap between the waves, and pass through safely. To outsiders, this seemed impossibly skillful. But in your perception, the world looked entirely different. Fierce Mountain Palm had a total of 49 forms. The path of its spiritual power always passed through the shoulder, neck, and specific acupoints. To maximize power, when exerting force, 3 inches below the right chest's center point, the spiritual energy barrier was weakest, creating an instant vulnerability. After 13 consecutive palm strikes, to forcibly channel spiritual energy, the left knee would subconsciously bend for leverage, causing the lower stance to become unstable. Over the past month, in the dream of myriad forms, you had fought a perfect Wang Meng, exactly 13,728 times, and died 13,727 times. Every breath Wang Meng took, every movement of spiritual energy, when he was preparing his next technique, where his gaze would fall, you knew it all better than he did. You waited for a single perfect killing opportunity.
Why?
Why can't you hit him? After failing to break through for so long, Wang Mang's mental state completely collapsed. Looking at you whose clothes weren't even damaged one bit, a sense of unprecedented humiliation and fear rose up from deep within him. I can't believe I'm losing to this worthless trash. Die. Wang Mang's eyes turned a blood-red shade. He poured all the spiritual energy left within him into his right palm, betting it all. He gave up all defense and variation. This was the final form of Fierce Mountain Palm, the strongest, but also most vulnerable. Fierce mountains returned to ruins. Break for me! A roar not humanly possible. Wang Mang's right palm flared bright red and struck viciously. The air was completely detonated, creating a visible wave of white energy. At that moment, Wang Mang left his defenses wide open, with not a trace of protection left.
Now,
From your tranquil, unfathomable eyes, a terrifying flash of golden light suddenly burst forth. Time seemed to slow to a crawl at that instant. In front of a purple palm print that could destroy half the arena, your figure approached for the first time. You ignored the palm wind that could rip through steel, ignored the scorching energy. You raised your hand, formed a fist, and thrust it forward. A perfectly ordinary punch, without dazzling spiritual light, no terrifying momentum, but with pinpoint accuracy. At the last moment, as the purple palm print was about to form, cut through layer upon layer of energy waves, landing right on the wide open chest of Wang Meng, 3 inches below the center point. Suddenly, an extremely faint sound like a bubble bursting was heard. That world-destroying purple palm print shattered only half a foot away from you. In my lifetime, it broke apart inch by inch, turning into countless points of light. Wang Mang's charging body suddenly froze. He slowly lowered his head to gaze at the ordinary fist pressing into his chest. Then he raised his head and looked at your face, terrifyingly calm and close. Still tranquil, and frighteningly so. All that remained in his eyes was utter bewilderment and confusion.
Why?
A mouthful of blood rushed up, spewing like a fountain from his mouth. The spiritual energy shielding his body let out a series of sharp cracks, and completely shattered. The aura of a peak 7th level key refinement deflated like a leaking ball, quickly fading away. You withdrew your fist. Wang Mang's body sagged and fell backward, collapsing unconscious with a thud. The whole arena fell silent. The wind blew, next moment boom. The entire central martial arena erupted. Lin the won. He won, my god. With one punch, Wang Mang, a peak 7th level key refinement cultivator, was instantly killed by Lin the, who was only at the 4th level. A leap of 3 realms. This is Qing, Yan Sek's greatest miracle in 100 years. Cheers, screams, and gasps merged into a tsunami of sound. almost enough to scatter the clouds. Su Qingsu covered her mouth, her beautiful eyes sparkling with excitement, filled with shock and disbelief. On the high platform, Elder Qin ripped out several beard hairs, unaware, muttering the word monster over and over. Truly a monster. In the midst of the frenzy, you stood calmly at the center of the arena. The referee stared for 10 whole seconds before rushing up onto the platform. With a trembling voice filled with boundless awe, raise your hand high. The ultimate winner of the Outer Sect tournament is Lindy. In this moment, you are the sole focus of the entire audience. However, your gaze unintentionally catches sight of a young man in fine clothes within the crowd. He's looking at you with a cold and scrutinizing expression. That person is none other than Zhao Wuji, a top inner disciple. The awards ceremony comes to an end. You follow the guiding senior through the spiritual light barrier, officially stepping into the inner sect. A rush of spiritual energy, several times denser than outside, sweeps over you. This is no longer a cluster of crowded wooden huts, but individual caves nestled among the trees. The sky and earth are shrouded in dense clouds. The guiding senior brings you to one covered by a shimmering barrier, the Earth No 9 cave abode. He hands you a token and takes his leave. You drop blood on it to claim ownership. Push open the door and enter. Inside, the furnishings are simple, but quiet and private enough. You don't start cultivating right away, but sit down cross-legged instead, taking out an old wooden box from your clothes. This is the only keepsake from your parents left on you. You slowly open it. Inside are a few pieces of worn children's clothing, a rattle drum, and a pitch black, seemingly ordinary jade pendant. You pick up the jade pendant, Massa, feeling the rough patterns on its surface. Is my myriad illusions dreamscape related to my parents? You steady your mind, holding the cold jade pendant casually in your palm. Then you close your eyes and enter the dream state. This time, the process is unbelievably smooth. And when you open your eyes again, you find yourself in the dreamscape space. You immediately sit cross-legged, circulating the Qingyun technique. The surrounding spiritual energy seems strongly attracted, forming a miniature vortex, pouring madly into your body. This speed is at least twice that of the outer sect. It's the spirit gathering array of the inner sect cave. No, it's not usually this strong. Suddenly you realize something and open your tightly clenched left hand. The pitch-black jade pendant is emitting an extremely faint, gentle glow, which quickly fades away. You immediately circulate the Qingyun technique again, and sure enough, the inflow of spiritual energy slows down a notch. Shock surges within you. You quickly grip the jade pendant again, and that terrifying spiritual vortex appears once more. Release, the energy returns to normal. Grip tight, it surges violently. You finally confirmed, a fact that makes your heart race wildly. This black jade pendant you'd never cared for before can actually amplify the effect of cultivating myriad illusions dreamscape. Your golden finger even comes with an external add-on. Who exactly were my parents? A huge mystery, accompanied by a chill that seeps into your bones, fills your heart. Just as you're absorbed in this shocking discovery, a deep thud comes from outside your cave abode. Your spiritual sense left outside detects. Someone has forcefully triggered the cave's protective barrier. Immediately after, a voice filled with arrogance and disdain boomed like thunder outside the silent cave dwelling. The new forestry junior brother has entered the inner sect. There are rules in the inner sect. Senior brother Zhao Wuji sent me to give you some guidance, so you understand who you can mess with and who you can't. You can't afford to offend. You were yanked out of the dreamlike realm of illusions back into reality. The smooth black jade pendant in your palm returns to its icy coldness, but that domineering shout rings clear in your ears. Zhao Wuji, your eyes show no anger, only a calm, unfathomable depth. Retaliation came so quickly, so directly. You slowly get up, without a hint of panic. Carefully stow away the critical black jade pendant. Then straighten your robes. At last, you walk steadily toward the stone door. Creak, the stone door opens. Outside stands a burly youth, his face full of rough, fleshy features, looking impatient. When he sees you come out, a flash of surprise crosses his eyes. Then he puts on a fake smile. Ninth level of key refining. Zhang Meng, Zhao Wuji's henchman. Junior brother Lin, we've finally been waiting for you. Jiang Meng looks you up and down. His gaze isn't like a fellow disciple's. It's more like he's inspecting goods. Senior brother Zhao Wuji has heard about you for a long time. He specially sent me to get closer to you. You stay calm, as if you didn't notice the arrogance in his words. Just politely cup your hands. So it's senior brother Zhang Meng. Thank you for thinking of me, senior brother. Key refining ninth level, aura deeply condensed. Much stronger than Wang Meng by more than a notch. Seeing your indifferent attitude, Zhang Meng's smile fades a bit. He thought an outsider clawing his way up would tremble at Zhao Wuji's name. Even if he didn't fall to his knees, he should at least be terrified. Snorting coldly, Zhang Meng's tone turns harsh. The atmosphere shifts abruptly. Junior brother Lin, maybe you misunderstood. He steps forward. His tall frame casts your whole body into shadow. The inner sect is different from the outer sect. Your little tricks are nothing here. Today I'm in a good mood. So I'll show you a few moves. Let you understand what inner sect rules really mean. Before he finishes speaking, boom. A force far stronger than Wang Meng, belonging to the ninth level of key refining, presses down like an invisible wall. Over your head, Zhang Meng's face is twisted with cruel delight. He wants to see your legs go weak, and you beg for mercy. But he's disappointed. At the center of the pressure, your figure stands firm and unmoving like a javelin. Your expression remains calm. Not even your eyes ripple. So this is the pressure of key refining ninth level. It's indeed strong, but just standing here doesn't crush me. You quietly channel that pressure, skillfully into the ground beneath your feet. Such effortless ease. Zhang Meng doesn't understand. He only knows. The scene he expected, you kneeling and begging, never happened. It feels like punching into cotton. A sense of humiliation hits him instantly. You don't appreciate the kindness. Zhang Meng fully drops his act and roars. His large hand turns into a sharp eagle claw, slicing through the air with a screech, and swiftly grabs at your shoulder. He uses 50% of his strength in this move. His aim isn't to seriously injure you, but to, in front of everyone, pin down this rising star like grabbing a chick. Too fast, the gap between key refining ninth level and fourth level, 5 minor cultivation levels apart, is fully displayed in this moment. In your eyes, his movements are clear, but your body can't keep up with your mind's reaction. You can't dodge in a hair's breadth moment. Your eyes narrow. You pour all your strength into your legs. Sec's basic movement, wind step, is executed by you at unprecedented speed. Your body, at a strange angle, jerks sharply backward. Rip! A harsh tearing sound. The fabric is torn. Zhang Meng's claw misses, but the fierce palm wind leaves 5 clear stripes on your left shoulder. Your blue robe is ripped. Blood seeps out. You've staggered back 3 steps and stabilized yourself. The crowd is dead silent. Zhang Meng looks at his empty hand. A flash of surprise in his eyes. He didn't expect his seemingly certain move could be dodged by a kid at 4th level key refining, though only barely. The inner sect disciples watching for fun now changed their gaze, able to retreat safely from Zhang Meng, a 9th level key refining fighter. This newcomer has some skill. Zhang Meng feels his face burn,
He wanted to attack again.
but reconsidered.
He failed to land even one move against this rookie.
That's already embarrassing. If he chased further, word would spread he was useless. Zhang Meng pulls back his hand and gives you a venomous glare, like a snake staring at prey. Kid, your movement technique isn't bad. No wonder you beat Wang Meng, that loser. But you'd better remember this. He points at you, speaking forcefully, word by word. Offending senior brother Zhao Wuji here in the inner sect means you won't have an easy life. We'll see about that. With a final threat, Zhang Meng turns and struts away. Only when his figure disappears do you slowly raise your hand, touch your torn left shoulder, look down at your damaged clothes and bleeding fingers. Still expressionless, you turn and return to the cave dwelling.
Ban.
The heavy stone door slams shut. The cave is dark. You stand still in the darkness, like a stone statue. After a long time, you raise your head.
In those always calm eyes,
There is no anger, no humiliation, only a palpable, chilling, killing intent. You're clear that from today, the inner sex struggle has just begun. Tonight's goal is to face Jiang Meng in your dream first. The stone door closes, cutting off all external prying and gossip. You stand still in the darkness. The burning pain in your left shoulder never ceases, constantly reminding you of what just happened. That wasn't humiliation. It was a warning from a higher level. The predator's bare fangs, displaying key refining ninth level. You slowly raise your hand and touch the wound on your shoulder. Your fingertips feel it rough and old, those eyes shining bright even in darkness. Never dulled. No anger, no panic, only lifeless calm like a frozen lake. And beneath that calm, a madly growing tide of killing intent. You turn and sit cross-legged on the stone bed. Mind sinks into the sea of stone. The dream mirage of all things opens. Simulation target, Jiang Meng. Cultivation set to key refining ninth layer. Unknown 5-element techniques.
Temporarily set to Tiger Claw.
In the gray, hazy space, a burly figure rapidly forms. You take a deep breath. Assume a fighting stance. At the moment your thoughts trigger, Jiang Meng moved. A blur appears right in front of you instantly. So fast. A giant eagle claw fills your entire field of vision. Then a sharp pain in your chest. The world before you is instantly swallowed by darkness. Gasping reality. You suddenly open your eyes. Your chest heaves violently. Cold sweat beads on your forehead. A move so decisive. A complete instant kill. The gap is really that big. In the face of absolute speed and power, any technique pales in comparison. This crushing defeat didn't discourage you. Instead, it's like a bucket of ice water doused your spirit. It extinguished that bit of complacency after defeating Wang Mang beyond your level, and snapped you back to reality. Also, like a ladle of boiling oil, thrown onto the flame of killing intent in your heart. You force your heart to calm down.
Take out the pitch-black jade pendant from your chest.
Clutch it tightly in your palm. Return to the gray, hazy space. Jiang Meng forms again. Still the same move. Another one-shot kill. You're ejected from the nightmare again. But this time, you keenly notice something different. The mental fatigue feels lighter. Your heart stirs. You immediately try letting go of the jade pendant again. Enter the dream mirage, instantly killed. Familiar feeling of mental fatigue. Grip the jade pendant. Enter the dream mirage, instantly killed. Mind feels clear and refreshed. Almost no depletion, as expected. This jade pendant can enhance the stability of the dream mirage of all things, and reduce mental exhaustion. Your heart races. A bolder idea arises deep within you. You force yourself to calm down. Grip the jade pendant. Mind fully sinks into the dream mirage of all things. This time, you didn't simulate an enemy. Just sit cross-legged in the gray, hazy space. Clear your mind. Begin quietly counting 1, 2, 3 in your heart. At the same time, part of your divine senses changes in daylight outside the cave residence. When you finish quietly counting all the way up to 3,600, you suddenly open your eyes. You instantly sense the outside world. Outside the cave, the sun has only moved a tiny bit west from the center, just barely shifted by an insignificant angle. Judging by experience from your last life, no more than an hour and a half has passed externally. Not a full hour, Shiten. You immediately release the jade pendant. Enter the nightmare again. Count silently in the same way. This time when you wake up, the daylight outside is just right. Exactly 2 hours have passed. A conclusion that makes your blood boil all over, nearly erupting with excitement, emerges in your mind. Without the jade pendant, the time ratio between the illusory myriad realm and reality is 10-1. But after you grasp this black jade pendant, the ratio is forcibly increased to 12-1. Don't underestimate the added 2. This means that every day, compared to others, you gain nearly an extra 4 hours of training time out of thin air. Over time, accumulating day by day, this will become a terrifying advantage. My golden sheet actually has an external plugin. Mother, Father, who on earth are you really? Immense ecstasy is accompanied by even deeper mysteries, striking at your spirit. You clutch the jade pendant tightly in your hand. And for the first time in those cold eyes, a burning magma-like flame ignites. Zhao Wuji, at the 9th level of key refining, calmed thousands of thoughts and prepares to immediately take advantage of this new time flow. He begins mad training. However, just then, a series of knocks, neither light nor heavy, sound at the door. At the same moment, a neutral, emotionless sect-like voice echoes directly in your mind through a prohibition spell. Earth 9, Lindy of the Cave Dwelling. The inner sect introduction guidelines and class schedule have been released. Please proceed to Dan Peak tomorrow morning at dawn. Attend the first compulsory class, Alchemy Basics. Early next morning, when the sky is just starting to brighten, you follow the directions to the mountainside of Dan Peak, where a grand hall stands. The signboard bears the characters Pill Hall. You walk into the hall, and the interior space suddenly opens up. Inside the massive stone chamber, rows of bronze pill furnaces are neatly arranged. At this moment, dozens of inner sect disciples have already taken their seats in the hall. When you enter, the previously noisy discussions instantly fall silent. Dozens of curious, even slightly hostile gazes are fixed on you in unison. The incident of Zhang Meng openly provoking you outside the cave yesterday has already spread throughout the inner sect. Everyone knows that as soon as you, the champion of the outer sect tournament, arrived, you offended one of the people you absolutely shouldn't offend in the inner sect. Zhao Wuji ignores all these looks, walks straight to an empty seat in the back and sits down, quietly waiting for the instructor. The fire-type spiritual energy here is noticeably 3 times denser than in my own cave dwelling. There must be a small fire-gathering formation carved under the pill furnace. Soon after, an elder wearing a simple gray lion robe, sporting a goatee, and with a proud, aloof expression, walks in at a leisurely pace. All the disciples immediately bow in respect. Greetings, Elder Liu. Elder Liu lazily waves his hand, sweeps his gaze over the crowd, and finally lingers on your face, the corners of his mouth curling into a barely noticeable sneer. Sit down. His voice is dry and harsh, carrying the condescension of long-term authority. I, Liu Can, am responsible for teaching your first class on alchemy basics. With his hands behind his back, he paces while speaking, his tone full of impatience. He explains for less than the time it takes to burn an incense stick, then impatiently waves his hand. Empty words are worthless. Today you'll do it yourselves, and refine the most basic pill, the key-gathering pill. Each person gets a set of materials. Come up and get them yourself. The disciples step forward one by one to collect their materials. Soon, it's your turn. You get up and walk to the stone table. Elder Liu lifts his eyelids, a trace of mockery flickering in his cloudy gaze. Instead of picking up any of the standard sets of ingredients, he pulls another medicinal packet out from under the table and tosses it in front of you. You're Linda? He asks, knowingly. You reply calmly, yes. Elder Liu nods, tilting his chin slightly upward, and says in a mentoring tone, Champion of the Outer Sect Tournament, you must be exceptionally gifted. Since that's the case, there's no need for you to practice the lowest tier key gathering pill with them. Here's a set of condensing key pill ingredients. Try refining this instead. As soon as he finishes, the entire pill hall instantly bursts into commotion. What? A condensing key pill? Did I hear that right? Elder Liu is actually letting a newcomer refine a condensing key pill right away? That's insane. Condensing key pill is at least 10 times harder to make than key gathering pill, if not more. We've been studying alchemy for a year, and our success rate is under 30%. This isn't helping at all. This is totally making things difficult. He just wants him to blow up the furnace and make a fool of himself in front of everyone. In that instant, everyone's expressions shifted. Some were sympathetic and pitying, others were schadenfreude. Especially a few disciples from the Zhao Wuji faction, who openly sneered without any attempt to hide it. Ready to watch the show, waiting for you to embarrass yourself. Everyone understood that this was an open scheme. Zhao Wuji using Elder Liu to intimidate this arrogant new guy in the first round of pressure. Your expression didn't change at all. You looked down at the packet of ingredients on the table. Greenwood vine, scarlet flame fruit, and a purple-red flower said to be 100 years old, indeed the main ingredients for condensing key pills. But the greenwood vine is way too old. The scarlet flame fruit's fire toxin hasn't been purified, and the purple-red flower has mostly lost its medicinal power. At best only 80 years old. You sneer to yourself? This isn't just making things hard. It's basically a pile of trash set up to make you fail. No arguing, no questioning, just under everyone's gaze. You silently reach out and pick up the packet of ingredients. Thank you, Elder, for your kindness, you say calmly, then turn and return to your seat. This action unexpectedly leaves Elder Liu, who was waiting for you to get angry or beg, momentarily stunned. This kid is not playing by the rules. He immediately snorts coldly, pretending to himself to act composed. Just wait till he blows up the furnace. Let's see how calm he can stay then. He clears his throat, raising his voice sharply, so all in the hall can hear. Ingredients have been distributed. You have 1 day to practice, and tomorrow at this time, I will personally examine your results. Everyone will open their furnace and show their work on the spot. Elder Liu's gaze is as sharp as a knife, locked tightly on you, a cruel smirk on his lips. Remember, those who fail to refine a pill or blow up the furnace will be punished per sect rules with a month of weeding in the medicinal garden. All eyes are fixed on you, as if they've already pictured you, struggling in the fields pulling weeds. Remember, those who fail to refine a pill or blow up the furnace will be punished per sect rules with a month of weeding in the medicinal garden. Elder Liu's icy voice seems to penetrate the stone gate, buzzing in your cave dwelling. You sit cross-legged on the stone bed, eyes closed. The shame and malice from outsiders press down like a cold tide, crashing wave after wave against your heart's defenses. You do not let anger flood over. Instead, you guide and condense it, turning it into a block sinking into your heart, cold and hard like black iron. Rather than anger, better to sharpen your blade. You slowly exhale, your spirit as sharp as lightning, diving instantly into the illusory myriad realm. Illusory myriad realm? Sigh. This time, you don't visualize an enemy. With a single thought, an identical bronze alchemy furnace to the one in the alchemy hall quickly materializes. Then you open your hand, recalling from memory, and imagine the tampered key condensation pill, using discarded medicinal ingredients. Since it's a dead end, I'll carve out a path to survival in this dream. Your eyes sharpen. With a wave of your hand, the ingredients land precisely in the furnace. Your first official refinement begins. You focus all your attention. You ignite the alchemy fire. But the Aoki vine is extremely potent. The moment the fire touches it, a wild surge of wood element spiritual power suddenly explodes. Boom, a dull explosion. The furnace shakes violently. Black smoke billows. As expected, the furnace exploded. The Aoki vine was indeed too strong. I can't follow the usual order. The fire poison from the red flame fruit must be expelled first. You refuse to be discouraged. You plunge back into it. The second attempt begins. Bang, another muffled explosion. The furnace explodes again. Third failure. 10th failure. 50th failure. Bang bang. Boom. The muffled sound of the exploding furnace echoes in the deathly silence of the dream of 10,000 manifestations. Like a bell that never stops ringing. Outside, the moonlight flows like water. But in your dream, time speeds by at 12 times the normal rate. 1 hour passes in the real world, while half a day whooshes past in the dream. You forget about time. You forget your exhaustion. The only thing in your eyes is the furnace. Only the flames, and those 3 deeply flawed medicinal herbs. The 101st attempt. Your face expressionless. Your focus reaches its peak. This time, you don't rush to purify. Instead, you start with an extremely gentle spark from the alchemy fire, enveloping all 3 herbs at once. This is an incredibly bold and unprecedented idea not found in any alchemy formulas. You plan to deceive them in the most gentle way possible, so they release their properties. At the same time, in a delicate balance, letting them neutralize and penetrate each other. A bead of sweat slides down your temple. Your consciousness is as precise as a carving knife, stripping away the fire poison, yet as gentle as a spring breeze, soothing the rampaging energy, while splitting your focus to awaken dormant medicinal power. Time passes, unknown how long. When all three medicinal powers finally reach a fragile balance, now is the moment. You snap your eyes open. As the fire suddenly surges, boom, the wild flames, like a huge hand, grip, compress, and fuse the medicinal liquid intensely. A mysterious clear ring from inside the furnace. It's done. You open the furnace. At the bottom lies a single grayish-brown, pitted, uneven pill. It's a defective pill, but at least it's a pill, and not just burned residue. After blasting the furnace more than 100 times, this is your first success. You feel no joy. Just pick up the waste pill and examine it closely for a moment. Then crush it casually. The heat was still too strong. The power of the 3 monkey flowers wasn't fully activated. It can be faster. It can be better. You close your eyes once more. From the first success to refining the first lower-grade spirit pill, you spent another 2 days in the dream. Over 300 more explosions. From lower grade to middle grade, another 3 days passed. You're like a tireless machine, breaking down and reorganizing each step of alchemy, then practicing it 1,000, 10,000 times. Your technique transforms from clumsy to skillful, from skillful to effortless. In the end, you don't even have to look, because everything inside the furnace is clearly reflected in your mind. Outside, the night is almost over. A hint of dawn colors the horizon. The final refinement in the dream of 10,000 manifestations is complete. This time, you kept your eyes tightly shut from start to finish. You appeared calm and peaceful. The entire process was free of any worldly distractions. It was filled with an indescribable sense of adversity and beauty. When the final thread of pill energy entered the humming pill, the sound from inside the furnace was no longer dull. Instead, a melodious vibration arose like celestial music. The pills are finished and the furnace is opened. No black smoke. No burning or scorching. As the furnace lid popped open,
10 dazzling star-like streams of azure pill light
suddenly shot into the sky from the mouth of the furnace, almost illuminating the entire haze-filled, dreamlike space, lighting it up completely. At the bottom of the pill furnace, 10 jade green pills, round and plump, even bearing mysterious pill patterns on their surfaces. The naturally formed pills resembled perfect works of art, lying quietly there, releasing a rich, refreshing aroma. You raise your head. Your gaze seems to penetrate the heavy stone doors. Looking toward the direction of the Dangrass Peak, a sinister curve forms on your lips. It's time to turn in your assignment. The next day at the pill hall, just as you step through the door, the noisy commotion inside the hall seems seized by an invisible hand. Instantly falling silent, everyone's eyes lock onto you at the same moment. Immediately from the corner, the group led by Zhang Meng burst out laughing without any attempt to hide it.
Hey,
Isn't this our future medicine garden manager, Junior Brother Lin? Junior Brother Lin, have you decided which plot you want? How about the loose soil on the east side? Let me show you the way, Junior Brother. Using that pile of waste to refine pills. Even immortals would blow up the furnace. Their words are as disgusting as flies. But you don't even bother to lift your eyelids. You head straight for the pill furnace in the corner. Sit cross-legged. Close your eyes and rest. Treating them like air. This unflappable demeanor makes Jiang Meng feel like he's punched a pillow. His expression turns ugly instantly. Acting mysterious. Just then, Elder Liu Kan, with his goatee, hands behind his back, strolls out slowly. The crowd goes silent in an instant. His gaze skips past everyone and locks precisely onto you, as if watching a rat in a cage. He addresses you, Linda. His voice isn't loud, but carries an undeniable authoritative pressure. Have you succeeded in refining the key concentration pill? If not, get to the medicine garden right now. Don't waste everyone's time. Zhao Meng. His group erupts in laughter. Everyone is waiting to see you fail. Yet you still don't speak. You simply rise slowly. Under the stunned gaze of the crowd, walk to the cold pill furnace. Then extend your finger. Lightly tap the fire-gathering array at the bottom of the furnace. A pale blue flame instantly ignites. Next, you toss the tampered waste materials casually to your side. What are you doing? You really want to refine pills. Everyone's mind is full of this absurd thought. Elder Liu Kan is stunned at first. Then his face is filled with mocking ridicule. You won't cry till you see the coffin. Fine, I'll let you blow up the furnace in front of everyone today. You'll become the laughingstock of the entire inner sect. All eyes are on you as you begin your actions. You casually pick up the fiery, toxic crimson flame fruit and toss it directly into the furnace. Lost your mind, starting with the crimson flame fruit? Does he want the furnace explosion to happen sooner? Some experienced disciples gasp in shock. But the expected explosion doesn't happen. You press your palm lightly on the pill furnace. Your spiritual sense sinks inside. The raging, fireless energy in your hands becomes docile like a kitten. A barely detectable trace of black smoke slips from the furnace's mouth and instantly disperses. The fire toxin is removed. Then, you'd even toss the conflicting Qingmu vine and purple red flower into the furnace together. It's over. This time it's definitely going to blow up. Shocked voices rise one after another. Yet the pill furnace remains rock solid. Your movements are fluid and graceful. It's no longer pill refining. It's an art, a performance full of adversity. Unknowingly, the hall has fallen completely silent. Those who used to mock you, their smiles have long since frozen, their mouths hanging open enough to fit an egg. Jiang Meng's face is twitching involuntarily. Elder Liu Kan's old, cloudy eyes are now wide open and round, filled with shock and disbelief. This is the art of flame control. Who the hell is this kid really? Just as he is completely shaken, a clear vibration rings out from your pill furnace, followed by a scent so rich it seems to take form, like a flood breaking its banks. It sweeps across the entire pill hall in an instant. The fragrance condenses into visible form. This is a pill completion anomaly. An older disciple exclaims in a shaky, terrified voice. Success. With that pile of waste.
He really managed to succeed.
In the deadly silence of the hall, you slowly finish. Slap the scorching furnace with your palm. Bang, a lead bursts into the air. 10 dazzling streams of azure pill light, like 10 dragons roaring out of the furnace. You are ready. With a flick of the wrist, a jade bottle appears in your hand. You imbue it with spiritual energy. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 10 pill lights rush eagerly into the jade bottle. You seal the bottle. Without even looking at it, casually toss the jade bottle to the now completely petrified Elder Liu Kan. Elder and disciple, I have fulfilled my duty. Liu Kan instinctively catches the jade bottle, his hands trembling violently. He shakily pours out a pill. The pill is completely jade green, surprisingly bearing mysterious pill patterns. Perfectly formed, pill patterns born naturally. He suddenly looks up, fixates on you intensely, as if he's seen a ghost. Perfect, this is a perfect grade key concentration pill, he cries out with all his strength. His voice is piercingly sharp. You crafted a perfect key concentration pill from waste. Liu Kan points at you, his face twitching uncontrollably. Finally, all expression turns into a heartfelt exclamation. You are an alchemy genius being wasted on cultivation. Boom, his words land. The crowd is shocked. Jiang Meng and his group turn deathly pale, as if they've just swallowed a mouthful of flies in public. While you calmly collect your pills, your gaze cutting through the crowd, landing on the extremely sullen Jiang Meng. For a moment, the entire pill hall is dead silent. Elder Liu Can's shout about the alchemy genius echoes in everyone's ears. Jiang Meng feels like everyone's gaze has become scorching slaps, one after another, smacking him hard on the face. Humiliation. Far worse than being defeated by you at the entrance to the residence. 100 times worse humiliation. Your calm gaze lands on him, without a trace of ridicule in your eyes. No bragging, just a calmness as cold as a frozen lake. But it was precisely this calmness, like a scorching hot iron, that burned deep into his pride. Lin, Jiang Meng let out a beast-like growl from his throat. His eyes instantly turned blood red. Right at that moment, Elder Liu can rush to you in a flash. His face was filled with fanatic flattery. He respectfully handed the jade bottle back to you. His manner could not have been more deferential. Master Lin. Master Lin was so excited his address even changed. I was blind, failed to recognize greatness. I am willing to recommend you to the Pill Pavilion, to become a core elder's personal disciple. From now on, no one in the inner sect would dare trouble you again. Your chance to ascend is right before you. But you just took the jade bottle from his hand, calmly saying, no need. After saying that, you turned to leave, as if lingering. The status of a core disciple meant nothing to you. This attitude completely ignited the last shred of Jiang Meng's rationality. Stop, he roared. Jiang Meng's burly figure suddenly blocked your path. The pressure of key level 9 locked onto you. You bastard. Do you dare to fight me like a real man? A fair fight, face to face, he shouted. You stopped walking, finally looking him straight in the eye, a trace of disdain in your gaze. Clearly, you want to die. You calmly asked, if I kill you? That calm question destroyed him. He roared angrily. His fist the size of a pot was about to strike. Stop. Elder Liu Can's face changed. Move out of the way. Jiang Meng has lost his mind. He shoved him aside. But his punch still didn't land, because you moved even faster. All saw you slowly pull a pitch-black iron token from your chest. You casually tossed it at his feet. When the token hit the ground, it made a shrill sound. It bore a fierce punish character. Punishment order. What's he up to? He's going to the punishment platform. Key level 4. He wants a life or death duel with Jiang Meng, who's key level 9. Everyone stared at you like you were insane. This isn't a challenge. This is suicide. Jiang Meng was stunned. The fury on his face gradually twisted into a cruel, sinister grin. Good, very good. He snatched up the token, gripping it tightly in his palm. The road to heaven and you won't take it. No door to hell, yet you barge in. Lin, you're seeking your own death. He raised the token high, his voice thunderous. I, Jiang Meng, declare here, with the punishment order as proof, challenge Lin, 1 month from now. Life or death duel on the sex punishment platform. He fixed his gaze on you, as if he could already see, crushing your bones inch by inch a month later. But in the deadly silent hall, you calmly spoke 5 words. 1 month is too long? Everyone thought they'd misheard. You raised 3 fingers, your voice icy cold, without a trace of emotion. 3 days. 3 days later, on the punishment platform, I will take your life. Boom! The entire hall. Everyone's mind went blank. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This isn't confidence. It's arrogance straight from hell. Jiang Meng's sinister smile froze instantly. 3 days, this bastard. Actually gave you only 3 days. Go die. Good. He forced out the word through clenched teeth, his face twisted to the extreme. 3 days later, if I don't tear you to pieces, I, Jiang Meng, will no longer be regarded as human. Get ready for your burial. You left with one last statement, turning around as all stared at you like they'd seen a ghost. You walked slowly out of the pill hall. Inside your cave residence, the stone door tightly shut. You sat cross-legged, expression unchanging. 3-day agreement. Seems crazy, but it's actually a calculated result. You slowly took out the pitch-black jade pendant, gripped it tightly. 12 times the external time flow rate. 3 days in the dream. 36 days, more than enough. You slowly closed your eyes. Illusory dream technique. Simulate opponent. Zhang Meng, key level set to 9. In the hazy gray space, that burly figure appeared again. This time you didn't rush forward. You just sat cross-legged, absorbing the incredibly pure spiritual energy in the dream. Endlessly pure spiritual energy. 10 dream days passed. Boom, key level 5. 20th day in the dream. Key level 6. 30th day in the dream. Key level 7. When the dream reached day 35, your cultivation had soared to the peak of key level 8, and the remaining time had only one goal: battle. You suddenly opened your eyes, looked at the dazed Zhang Meng. A terrifying golden light burst from your eyes. With a low shout, you launched the attack. Killed instantly, try again. Heart crushed by a palm again. Head blown apart by a punch again. In this endless cycle of death and rebirth, you pushed your limits like crazy, broken down every one of his moves, saw through every trajectory of his force.
His tiger claw
Became increasingly full of flaws to you, and your fists became faster and faster with each death, deadlier each time. Finally, when dream time ticked to its last moment, dawn of the third day finally broke the darkness outside. Your consciousness exited from the dream technique. You slowly opened your eyes. Those eyes were calm, without a ripple, yet seemed to conceal mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Your cultivation firmly at peak key level 8, but your aura, your killing intent, already forged in thousands of life and death battles, as sharp and deadly as a legendary weapon drawn from its sheath. You get up and push open the stone door. The rays of the morning sun shine on your face. Today is a good day for killing. The disciplined platform is packed with people. Almost every inner sect disciple is here. On the high platform, Zhao Wuji stands in all white. A cold smile hangs at the corner of his mouth, like he's watching an amusing show. When you appear, the whole place erupts in shock. He actually dares to come at key condensation level 8. How is that possible?
He reached the 8th level in just 3 days? Only 3 days?
Zhao Wuji's pupils contract slightly as well. But that's all. Zhang Meng is already standing on the stage, staring at you. His face is cruel, like a cat toying with a mouse. Bastard, are you ready to die? You step onto the ring. Not a single wasted word. When the dual gong sounds, Zhang Meng explodes into action. He seems to transform into a fierce tiger. His palm strikes out. 5 sharp palm winds. Seal every escape route you have. This is the fierce tiger palm. But instead of retreating, you charge forward. You too form your 5 fingers into a palm. Your moves are exactly like Zhang Meng's, even faster and more ruthless. The 2 palms collide head-on. An earth-shattering bang rings out. Thud, thud, thud. Under everyone's incredulous gaze, the one who is forced back is actually Zhang Meng at key condensation level 9. Impossible! Zhang Meng blurts out in shock. You remain right on him like his own shadow, pressing the attack. Fists, palms, fingers, and claws. Every move you use was stolen and learned from him, and then improved. For a moment, you at level 8 somehow have Zhang Meng at level 9 completely on the defensive. Zhang Meng goes completely crazy. He abandons all defense, gathering all his spiritual power into one fist, unleashing a final all-in attack. Fierce tiger roaring sky fist. Faced with this powerful blow, you don't dodge or avoid it. You meet it with your own punch. At the instant when the 2 fists are about to collide, crack. A crisp, shattering sound rings out within you. Your aura at the peak of key condensation 8 suddenly surges at that instant. You break through in the heat of battle. Key condensation level 9, far surpassing Zhang Meng. And even more vast and majestic power erupts from your fist. Utter devastation. Zhang Meng's seemingly unstoppable punch crumbles like paper under yours. It collapses instantly. A terrifying punch force slams brutally into his horrified chest. Zhang Meng is sent flying like a cannonball and crashes heavily off the discipline platform. His fate unknown. The whole place falls deathly silent. The figure of the law enforcement elder appears on the stage. In a frosty voice, he announces Zhang Meng has lost. According to sect rules, His cultivation will be abolished, and he will be expelled from the sect. In the deathly silence of the crowd, you lower your fist and stand tall. Slowly you lift your head. Your gaze sweeps past the sea of shocked and terrified faces, coldly staring toward the high platform. At the one whose smile is now frozen stiff. Xiao Wuji, this is only the beginning.